When you think about AI, you're probably thinking about it finding one perfect answer, right? The fastest route, the most accurate prediction, the best chess move. But what if the real breakthrough isn't finding one single answer, but a whole library of brilliant, creative, and totally different solutions? Well, that's the big idea we're going to dig into today.
Just imagine it for a second, an AI that doesn't just design one effective drug, but hundreds of potential candidates. Or, get this, a robot that knows 1,000 different ways to walk, so it can adapt instantly to any terrain or even if it gets damaged. This isn't science fiction, folks. It's the goal of a really powerful and fascinating field of AI research.
So, the key to unlocking all this potential is a concept called quality diversity, and it totally flips the script on how we think about training an AI.
Okay, so what does that even mean? Well, quality diversity algorithms, or QD for short, aren't just chasing one high score. They're trying to build a whole collection of solutions that are both excellent, that's the quality, and unique in how they actually do things, that's the diversity. So it's less like training one master of all trades and a lot more like building a whole team of creative, highly skilled specialists.
Let's use an analogy that I think really helps. Picture a high-tech Lego factory. A traditional AI, well, it's just trying to build one single perfect Lego car. But a quality diversity AI, it wants to fill a massive warehouse with every cool, high-quality model you can think of. Race cars, trucks, spaceships, you name it. All built from the same pile of bricks, and they all have to work really, really well.
Now, it's a brilliant idea, but for years it's been held back by one huge, show-stopping problem: efficiency.
So the ambition is massive, right? A library with thousands of high-performing AI agents. But the reality has been that creating this library is just incredibly expensive. In the AI world, we'd say it has very low sample efficiency, which is just a fancy way of saying it takes a crazy number of tries or samples to find all these different solutions.
And this isn't a small problem. I mean, the researchers behind the paper we're looking at today called it a significant drawback. It basically made it impossible to use these powerful algorithms for complex, real-world problems where every single attempt costs a ton of time and money.
Let's go back to our Lego factory. This problem is like telling every single designer they have to start with a blank piece of paper for every new model. No shared parts, no shared knowledge, nothing. You can imagine how painfully slow and inefficient that would be. You'd never fill that warehouse. So, how do you solve a problem that big? Well, some clever researchers came up with a brilliant divide and conquer strategy. It's a whole new approach called Cooperative Coevolution QD, or let's just call it CCQD.
The core idea here is just so elegant. Instead of trying to evolve one giant, complex AI brain from scratch over and over, what if you split that brain into two smaller, specialized parts, and then evolve them together, cooperatively?
And the way they split the brain is fascinating. They took its core programming, its neural network, and divided it. Part 1 is the representation part. It perceives the world. Part 2 is the decision part. It decides what to do based on that perception. It's kind of like separating the eyes from the limbs to train them to work together better.
Back in our Lego factory, this is a total game changer. You stop designing every model from scratch. Instead, you create two separate design teams. One team designs a small number of universal, super-optimized base plates. That's our representation part. The other team designs thousands of different brick sets. Those are the decision parts that can just be snapped onto those base plates to create a finished model.
But, just dividing the problem is only half the battle. The real magic, the secret to that incredible efficiency gain, is in how these two parts evolve together.
So here's how the process works. You create and evolve two separate groups. A really big one for all the diverse decision-making parts, and a much, much smaller one for the shared, fundamental representation parts. Then, you just mix and match them randomly, test how well the combined AI works, and use that feedback to improve both groups at the same time.
And to really push for variety, the researchers evolved a huge population of 1,024 different decision parts. Just think of these as over 1,000 unique brick sets designed to create this massive range of different models.
But here's the kicker. They only evolved 20. Just 20 shared representation parts, our universal base plates.
And that, right there, is the secret sauce. That's the efficiency trick. The system isn't wasting all its time relearning the basics of how to see the world 1,000 times. No, it learns a few really good ways to perceive. Those are the 20 base plates. And then it focuses all the creative, diverse work on combining them with the 1024 action parts. It's smart, it's efficient, and it really works.
Okay, so the theory is great and all, but does this actually work in practice? Well, the researchers put CCQD through a whole series of demanding tests, and honestly, the results were pretty stunning.
The big headline number, CCQD showed about a 200% improvement in sample efficiency. What that means is it could find that rich library of high-quality, diverse solutions twice as fast, using half the computer power of previous top-of-the-line methods. That is a huge leap forward.
And it wasn't just about speed. When they measured it by something called a QD score, which is just a metric that captures both quality and diversity, CQD consistently came out on top. It produced a richer, more varied set of solutions than any other leading algorithm.
This leads to a really cool question, though. Is the system actually using those different base plates to create specialized families of solutions? The researchers wanted to find out, so they decided to visualize the whole archive.
And what they found was fascinating. When they mapped out all the final solutions and colored them based on which of the 20 base plates they used, these clear clusters just popped out. It was proof. Each representation part was learning a unique, specialized way of understanding the world, and that formed the foundation for a whole family of related behaviors. The divide and conquer strategy wasn't just faster, it was creating a smarter, more organized library of skills. Okay, a 200% efficiency gain is obviously great for AI researchers, but why should the rest of us be excited about this? What does a breakthrough like this actually unlock for the future?
Well, this breakthrough makes quality diversity actually practical for the real world. Think about robots that don't just fail when a leg is damaged. They instantly switch to a different way of walking from their huge library of options. Or imagine discovering new medicines and materials way faster, because we're exploring thousands of good candidates at once, not just one. This is a crucial step toward a truly open-ended AI. Systems that can continually invent new and surprising solutions all on their own.
By shifting the goal from find the best solution to build a library of great solutions, CCQD has kicked open a new door in AI. It proves that the most powerful answer is rarely a single point, but a wide-open landscape of possibilities. And that leaves us with a pretty thrilling final thought. Now that we can do this, what's the next complex problem we'll solve? Not just once, but in 1,000 different, brilliant ways.